Yeah, I know it's been a minute. Um, I am, frankly, a little bit under the weather. Um, so almost wasn't going to make this video at all, but there's a few things to talk about, and I'll share that. Um, long story short, when I was going through a period of homelessness, I ended up staying in a building where it turned out that there was a lot of black mold, and I had no place to stay. Now, I don't know this, but that's what I think is associated with. I have these periods ever since then um, of dizziness. And the first time it hit me many years ago, I went to the hospital. You know, it was so bad. And they couldn't find anything. They couldn't tell me anything. Consequently, I've had periods of this, and they see this, the dizziness and it's like my gyro is off. Lasts for a week or so, and then it generally gradually gets back to normal. Well, I'm hoping that's what happens this time because I've been feeling like this for almost a week now. It's not as intense as the first time it hit me, but it's uncomfortable, and I find myself needing to lay down because just that sucks. Anyway, I'm dealing with it, and oh shit, okay, well good, I'm not playing any music, but I just noticed I didn't have the right sound on. When it comes to music news, though, we've lost some more people. Peter Zinoviev is, I think he helped to create, or did create, the BCS synthesizer. He passed away. But another musician who is more well known, and in my life a giant, John Hassell, the trumpeter, passed away this weekend. This is his album Vernal Equinox, and the collectible version. This is an original. I bought this when it came out in 1978. I was reading, like I said, I learned about things through reading. And I read about the development of ambient music and third and fourth world streams of music, and John Hassell's name came up. Didn't come up, it was one of the main names. I see the man as a pioneer in sound exploration and the use of electronics with the trumpet. I have several of his albums. I'm not going to grab them. I'm not going to get up and walk around because it sucks right now. These are out from the weekend. Two of his earliest albums, Earth Island. I showed this online, and some folks were saying how they thought this was his best, and I just can't agree with that at all. But again, that's has to do with differences in opinions and focuses music-wise, and other variables, other factors. I think the last two albums I got by John Hassell, which he just released, are among his best. Way better than this, in my opinion. Although this is fantastic. It says a lot. It's amazing. Some folks will probably know John Hassell through his work with David Sylvian. And this is a single. I understand that these were recordings that were made during Secrets of the Beehive, that album by David Sylvian, that didn't fit. But this is really strong, and I love this. Secrets of the Bee, Words with the Shaman, John Hassell, Steve Jansen, Holger Zukai. I love this. It's one where I usually can't just listen to it once. I usually have to repeat play it. there's some more records done here. I think the one that I want to show is, I haven't seen the documentary. I'm not in any hurry to go to a theater, but I'm glad that interest has peaked in the band Sparks, and I picked this up this weekend. A steady drip, drip, drip. Now, I'm really happy to say that I caught on to Sparks before, right away, when they were called Hap Nelson. I saw the album cover, caught my interest, then I heard the single, Wonder Girl. I heard it before they changed the name Hap Nelson, and I liked it right away. I've still got a copy. So, I can, because I know where these are. I did. Spence Sparks, yeah, right here. Their first album, Kimono My House. Love this album. Their music is more like to me, almost like a Broadway musical than rock music. But I do agree with the assessment that has been being made that these guys have been on the cutting edge of several and ahead of the curve on several changes in pop music. I agree that they were there. And I also agree that for the longest time, I didn't make the connection. Pet Shop Boys totally ripped off Sparks for their sound. I also have Propaganda. Is that the name of this one? Yep. It's a good one. But I grabbed this new one and I really like it. Musically as well as artistically. These guys are very artistic. This doesn't have the poster. It has the 12-inch booklet. But it's the picture disc. And this is beautiful. Like all picture discs, you hear the surface. You hear the paper under the vinyl. Big deal. It sounds to me that they took great pains to cut this hot. It's a 45 RPM to minimize the amount of background noise you hear when you play it. I really like this album, and I'm Toast. It's an instant favorite. The song in here, I'm Toast. I grabbed that. What else is sitting down here? Well, let me tell you about an album that I'm going to keep that... Oh, I've got another I wanted to talk about. That I think this album is really... Except for the very opening of the album, this album is shit, in my opinion. And if the musicians who made this happen to see this video, I'd love to know what you all were thinking. Because Octopus, The Boat of Thoughts. This starts off with Promise, and the vocals just completely ruin it. I just don't know how you can justify these horrible vocals on here. Like I said, if somebody happens to know the story about this album, I'd love to know, because it's like the vocal stylings on this album are horrendous. But the music has potential, so it's a keeper. Here's one that I'd been looking forward to, the reissue of the Steve Wilson remix of Gentle Giant's album Freehand. Picked it up this weekend, picked it up on Friday when it was officially released, and I highly recommend it for Gentle Giant fans. I've always liked this album, but I never liked the sound of it because it sounds like it was engineered in a box, in a cardboard box. And they did the right thing here by making this a double album. You get, the first album is transfers from the original master tapes, and the second album is the Steven Wilson remix. It's real obvious. Now, hats off to Steven Wilson. He respectfully did not modernize this. Now, I'll be honest, if they had given me this, I probably would have modernized it. I would have probably changed the EQ on the bass and the drums a lot. but he remains faithful to the original engineering specs of the time, but brings out all this detail and brings the recording out of the box. It's brilliant. Well worth it. Gentle Giant, as a result, have been in the public's eye, and I've been watching over the months a lot of different interviews with the band members now, where they're talking, you know, they talk about their career and the things they've done. I had it out, but I put it away. And what I was going to say is, Dereck and Ray Shaman were talking about their one album. It's right here. I can get it. Here it is. See, when I turn around, my head spins a little bit. See, I just... Don't tell me to go to the hospital because I don't have any money. Nothing happens in this country for people without money. So I just have to hopefully get better or not. That's realistic for a lot of people, okay? But I listened to Sylvian. Dereck Shaman says he thinks it's a good rock album, and he was good. He made a point to put it like that. It's not what Gentle Giant traditionally was known for. This was them moving in, trying to move into, it was their attempt to stay relevant to the market, which always means taking the best part of what you have and eliminating it. So Dereck Shaman said he liked the album. Ray Shaman, the bass player, said he hates the album. And after hearing them argue about it in an interview, which was really rather cool, I said, let me give it another listen because I've never liked this album. And my opinion has not changed. I don't like this album. I'll give it to Dereck. He says Inside Out, the song on here, is a good song. It's a decent song. But overall, this is substandard. It is. So I'm just going to just talk about music and leave it at that, and hope that I feel better in a few days. And lots of stuff going on, you know, with me personally regarding music. And we're just on the verge of my album being released. We're just on the verge of my video being released, which will happen before the album. I'm really excited about that. My first personal pro music video. It's about to be premiered. So, I hope you all are doing well. Hope you're feeling better than I'm feeling today, and I hope that the next time I speak to you, that I feel better.